it is actually not always likely that when you go for test, that everything will be okay. There are a few occasions when things may not be exactly at a balance, such as cholesterol, not having sufficient good cholesterol. We all know that we have both good and bad cholesterol. The good cholesterol, often referred to as the high density lipoprotein, and the bad cholesterol, often referred to as the low density lipoprotein. So when you have such a result, I repeat again that you don't need to be so much perturbed about it. I have recently felt the need to work on my cholesterol, and I noticed that it was successful. And I will share with us some of the foods and changes that I made. For instance, when I noticed some of the signs, you may ask me what were the signs. When you begin to feel some tightness, not always all the time, but if an older adult starts feeling some tightness in the chest unusually, at whatever time, whether in the morning or in the evening, some unusual heaviness or weight around you, and then sometimes you notice that your body is like carrying some extra luggages around it. It's not as smooth as it used to be. And then there could be other signs also, but you will begin to, if you are used to listening to your body, which I said is the best medical laboratory that we can use, to get to know some of these things at the earliest time when they are still at the entry point to be able to deal with it. So when I noticed some of the signs, of course, there were lots of eggs, meat, and animal protein in the last few days and weeks. And that also confirmed it that to me that it's likely to be cholesterol. And one of the ways also that you can also know is when you start taking positive steps towards the cholesterol aspect, lowering cholesterol, and it begins to show results by you feeling better from those symptoms, then it's an obvious sign also that you are on the right track, that it must be cholesterol. But like I earlier said in the first video, there are some foods that are high in cholesterol, but you don't have to do away with them for too long, and that is boiled egg, because of its low calorie, rich nutrients, especially vitamin A. But you must, during those days that you stay off those foods, you must also seek alternative foods that can supply you most of the things you'll be missing. For instance, chia seed is one of such nutrient-dense foods that can help you stand in the gap for you during those few days or weeks when you choose to stay off your egg. You need also soya beans in moderation to help you get complete protein in order to not to be deficient. It's sometimes difficult to find what to eat during those days. But actually, here are some of the foods that actually help to tackle it. Within 2 weeks, as fenugreek oil, an empty stomach, it works, especially for pre-diabetics and for diabetics. You can take it on empty stomach to help break down cholesterol. Now, the challenge we have is that a lot of people, when they are told that they have high cholesterol, they run away from fat. Yes, fat actually contributes, especially the bad fat, contributes to overall bad cholesterol. But I tell you, in the fight against bad cholesterol, it takes fat also to break it down, but not bad fat. If you run away from fat totally, all kinds of fat, you definitely won't be able to get this cholesterol out. You need fiber, soluble and insoluble fiber. green vegetables. Now, some people also try to consume some of these food vegetables, both root vegetables without oil, because they have been told that their cholesterol is high. But there is also one food that I have observed that doesn't really go well, and that's the coconut oil. It's good for almost everything. But when the cholesterol is diagnosed or you observe it in a few days, I think it's always good also to stay off. I said the best oils for your cholesterol, the first choices are cold pressed olive oil. Almond is one of the best nuts I found useful, because we know, or we've been told, that peanut is also good for balancing your cholesterol. But the older you get, the more you get to know that peanut may no longer be suitable because of its inflammatory nature. And apart from that, it's one of the yeast feeding foods. And most time comes with molds and other, uncomfortable symptoms. And so the first choice to make is magnesium-rich foods, calcium-rich foods. And one of the top ones I realized and I made use of is the almond nut. Soaking it overnight and taking on empty stomach supplies you a lot of the nutrients. And you don't have to take too much. 5-6 nuts in a day. And at most 7, because it's quite dense in nutrition. It helps to break down cholesterol and then helps you to lose weight, helps to tackle constipation also. And then fenugreek seed is good too. Because most times, as you are also working on the cholesterol, you have to have your eyes on your blood sugar too. And that is why you need to be very, very careful in your choice of the food choices you make. Because it must be also those that helps to lower your sugar, such as the chia seed. You must get sufficient protein, because as you are breaking this cholesterol down, the body needs to replace it. You need to send in good cholesterol in the form of foods, because when they go out, there is no provision for vacuum. As the bad cholesterol are going out, are being broken down, the body needs to rebuild with the incoming food to good cholesterol, so that the good cholesterol will be more in number when you measure it. Because it is when we have more of the bad cholesterol that it begins to pose health risk, such as heart attack and stroke. I have also seen young people with symptoms like that of stroke. So it all goes a long way to confirm that these days it's not only the older adult, which we are also talking to, that risk. Even we have younger people who neglect nutrition, who neglect what their life and what they eat, coming down with things like that. High cholesterol. So you need to be very careful. Most of the teas, including green tea, are great for you, but you mustn't take it in excess because it's a source of caffeine. Most blood thinning foods are also great, like the pure cocoa, the black cocoa. But the worst foods I need to also mention are the processed foods. The highly processed foods, they are your worst enemies when you're fighting cholesterol. They can lead to accidents and complications within a short while. And so we must be very careful to stay away from carbonated drinks and beverages, processed foods with chemicals and preservatives. Such foods we must stay away because they support the buildup of cholesterol very fast. And one of the healthy foods that you must also be cautious, very, very cautious with, is red palm oil. It's a source of palmitic acid, and it helps your good and bad cholesterol works both ways to build up very fast. So it's one of the oils that you must, stay away temporarily. I had to stay away from it for like 2 weeks, because when you have been raised with something, your body is already used to it. You need to also remember that the red color is so unique. So I wouldn't advise people to stay away for too long, completely. There are foods that we cannot stay away too long because they help to ensure that our platelet count is complete, especially when we are avoiding too many foods. Don't eat this, don't eat that. So just that drop or a few drop in your meal makes a lot of difference. But at the onset, I stayed away from red palm oil, at the initial stage, eggs, meat, and all the stuff that helps to raise cholesterol fast. But definitely, it's not going to be for too long when you return them little by little, because too much avoidance, abstinence from all kinds of foods will cause nutrient deficiency and will expose us to a lot of diseases, including a suppressed immunity. So remember that the use of essential oil, even external massage, is also important. A lot of people will need to be guided in this. I so made use of it. External massage can also help placing some of the oils on your belly button. It works. Because when you apply hot oils, some of these essential oils with a blend of carrier oil, placing on your belly button, sometimes it helps to send heat around the tummy. Oils like cold pressed olive oil is also beneficial in this regard. I mean, good one. You can use it placing it on your belly button, around, gentle massage on your belly button, and several other oils also combined with carrier oil, mostly olive oil, and sometimes coconut oil, but rarely. They work also to penetrate deep down to help to break the cholesterol, but garlic should be part of your daily diet. Apple cider vinegar is also beneficial and helpful. And like I said earlier, several other seeds, spices are good. But you need to be cautious when you are consuming these seeds, because they can actually trigger the onset of stomach ulcers when you take too much of spices, too much of seeds, ginger, and you do not include sufficient protein buffer. Remember that milk is not there. Milk is protective. And so when we are consuming this cholesterol lowering stuff, you must remember that you need to include protective foods, food that can help protect you, like fatty fish, sardines, and some of the fish oils that are good. They help in a little way to protect you, your delicate walls. And you can also protect these walls using good fats. In the absence of milk, in the absence of other animal protein, you will need fat, moderately good fat, to help protect this digestive tract and your intestine from injury, because they could be injured in your bid to get out cholesterol. Occasional bitter foods works. So you need to be including as much variety as possible to ensure that you don't miss out on inside. If you like this message, why not click the subscribe and follow button for more. Thanks for watching. Till I see you again.